I wrote a couple of blogs about my husband before he passed away, and one was about a little old man and a cute little touring cow. And so that's the name of my story. Here we go. Okay, well, for years my husband and I used to travel to Vermont every fall on vacation. It was such a magical trip and one for which we always looked forward. On this particular event, we drove the 75 miles stretch on Route 28 that leads from Oakmont to Route 80 and points east and north, okay? Bumper to bumper traffic. We go through every little Pennsylvania Dutch town along the way. Are you familiar with the Pennsylvania Dutch?
From there.
Oh, okay. How they build their houses right up to the sidewalks, to the streets almost. You feel like you're going to drive right in their living room sometimes. Well, anyway, it was bumper to bumper traffic along Route 28 as we drove this stretch. And we had not been going very long at all when we saw this policeman coming after us. So, my husband being so cute, he'd shrunken with age as he got older. He was quite a bit older than I am. So, anyway, love to tell you more stories about him. He saw his opportunity to get onto Route 80 without anybody in front of him. He took advantage of it and put the pedal to the metal, is that how you say it? Pedal to the metal, and so we took off. Well, anyway, we hadn't been driving more than 10 minutes along Route 80 when a patrolman came up behind us. And he sized my husband up pretty good as he walked towards the car, said, "Sir, do you know how fast you were going?" And my husband, being so sweet and cute, said, "No, sir." He was so innocent. Anyway, he was a charmer. I always tell him he was the best salesperson I ever knew because he got me. There you go. Yeah. Well, anyway, so the officer sauntered over to the car, and I'm scrambling in the glove compartment for the insurance card and the registration. Those are the two things that you always have to have ready. I knew where they were, and I got them out. And the officer, as I said, asked him how fast he was going, and he said he didn't know. And the officer said, "Oh, I clocked you at 90 miles an hour." Unbeknownst to me, the officer had a kind heart. Must have thought of my husband as his own little grandfather because he let him go. I was totally dumbfounded. I mean, you know, the opportunity was there to slap his wrist and do whatever he could to get him under control, but he didn't. So, okay, well then we traveled on east on Route 80, and we spent the night in Clark Summit, which is my husband's old stomping grounds as a young boy. I could tell you stories about Clark Summit too. Anyway, so we drove on the next morning after we left Clark Summit. My husband always wanted to make sure we were far enough away from the metropolitan area before he turned the car over to me. So that's what he did. He must have thought I was a child. But anyway, so we're driving along, and I'm driving behind these double wide, you know, the kind with the lead car in front. So I'm stuck there trying to figure out, well, how am I going to get around this double wide vehicle in front of me? So I finally saw my opportunity, and I whisked out, and I got around him. And then I approached an overpass, and I saw an officer staring down at me with his radar gun pointed straight at me. I said, "Oh my God, honey, I think he's going to pull me over." And he did. Well, he tried. So I'm here with this double wide and this officer, and I know, the the officer must have radioed, the one on the overpass radioed his buddy out in the field to come and chase me down. The knife of him. Honestly. Well, anyway, so, do you think I could talk my way out of a ticket? No chance. No chance. That's only reserved for cute little men in their touring hats.